All right, so you just got your e-bike. You're getting all the stuff to trick it out, all the accessories, the racks, and the mud flaps, and looking at all the cool stuff they can do. And some of those are obvious things. You're going to want like saddlebags. You're going to want racks and mud flaps, and those are all necessary things. But one thing that maybe you hadn't thought about that I think you need to have, some stuff that I've come across. Number one on that list is one of these portable pumps. This is a $10 Walmart pump. It folds up nice and small. It is a foot pump, not a hand pump. They make some hand pumps, and I've seen people talk about getting a hand pump. I can tell you, if you're way back in the back and that tire goes flat from a thorn, the last thing you want to do is sit there and have to hand pump. So this folds up real small and nice. It fits perfectly in a saddlebag and gives you some extra room for other stuff, even doing that. But you're not going to want to sit back in the back and hand pump one of these tires full if you're way back on some hunting property. So this one's a foot pump. Push that down, this little thing flips over, expands, and now we're able to fill our tire up using just our body weight and our foot. Let's see if I can put it here. As opposed to using our hands. Now, this one is just a $10 little pump from Walmart. If you ever get back in the backwoods and get a flat, you're going to be kicking yourself for not spending $10 on something like this that fits down in a saddlebag, weighs next to nothing, and you can haul it with you everywhere you go. There are some bigger ones. This at Walmart was $10. There's a bigger one for not much more. That's probably a little bit better. It's got the pressure gauge on it. It's a little bit bigger cylinder here. The problem with it is it's an even bigger and even heavier little air pump. So you get too big of an air pump, and then all of a sudden it takes up a lot of weight in your saddlebag, a lot of space and weight in your pack. So this one right here I thought was kind of the best of both worlds. It doesn't have the valve on it, but at the end of the day, if I'm trying to get home, I'm not really concerned about having the proper PSI. The other thing, there's a second thing I'm going to tell you about, and this is a freebie, okay? No, it's not a freebie, but it's free information, is flat attack, all right? This is what I'm using. I don't know if it's the best necessarily, but it's what I'm going to go with. You put about a half a bottle in each tire, and then you fill the tire up, and this will keep those little thorns and things like that you run over. It'll keep those from puncturing your tire and leaking it out, or at least help you. So I'm going to put a half a bottle in each one of these Rambo tires, and hopefully that'll take care of me. But if I do get a leak, I've got this in my bag at all times to help get me home. So if you want to see how I add this and see if this pump works, I'm going to actually remove this saddlebag so that I can get to this tire just a little bit easier. I don't have to, but for filming it, I think that will be a nice thing to do. So we've got our air tank out, our little foot compressor we're going to use today, test it out. We've got a can of Flat Attack, paper towel. There's a couple little nozzles in there that you're going to need. There's a good YouTube video that they've got out that you could watch as well if this isn't clear enough. But the tire needs to be, the nozzle here has to be at 4 and 8. The nozzle is supposed to be like 4 and 8 if this was a clock. That's pretty close to 4 and 8. So first thing we got to do is I got to get the stop out of there. So I'm going to put that in and turn it to the left. There's a technical name for that, but whatever you want to call this little inner part of the tire. There she goes. So that had to come out. You can hear the tire deflating pretty quick. All I'm going to do now is slip that over. Slide this little clear nozzle over that. I've already taken this off and got the hole in that open. Take this red nozzle off. And I'm going to just squeeze 4 ounces or about half a bottle in this. Oh. You can flip it up, kind of check and see. Half a bottle right about there. It's 16. This is a 16-ounce bottle for 15 bucks. So 8 ounces per tire is what I'm going to be doing. So a little more. All right, so got that right about 8 ounces, half a bottle. Put that cap back on. Ugh. Pull that off. Now this goes back in. This little insert nozzle on this tube here. They send you this little tool that helps screw that in. Okay, so that's in, feels pretty tight. I'm gonna wipe some of this green stuff up. I don't know that it's good or bad to sit on the rim, but either way, I'll clean it up. All right, so we've got half a bottle in. I've got my tire pretty well flat. I don't know the exact PSI on this thing. My tire's so dirty. All right, so max PSI on this particular Rambo is 30. I spend a lot of time in the rocks and the mountains, so I don't think I'm gonna do 30 PSI. So we want to get about half of the air in here, and then we've got to spin the tire a few times to get that stuff to rotate around. Okay, so we've got about half in there. Pop this off. Move it out of the way. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick the back of this bike up and spin this tire and get it going. Ooh. Go the other way. Get it going pretty quick just to get that green stuff moving around pretty good. I'm going to try to get it back to that 4 o'clock spot on that valve stem. There it is. This pump's working pretty quick. It didn't take long at all to get it airing up. I'm sure you can get cheaper ones on Amazon, and I've got a big one over there I could use, but I want to kind of test it out and see how it's going to be before I get it in the woods. It does help, it seems, if I pick the rear end up and pump it up. Pretty close, we ain't there yet. All right, put this cap back on. I'm gonna do the same thing with the front tire now. So I won't bore you with another tire, but highly recommend one of these portable pumps. It inflated this tire no time, and it didn't require a ton of energy. Highly recommend putting flat attack in your e-bike tires. I think that'll save you a headache down the road, or the trail, you might say, if you were to get flat somewhere out in the woods.